Hey everyone, it's Dr. Helen here. I just thought I'd do a little live today about reactive and anxious dogs and friendly dogs, because this is something that is quite close to my heart. Because I've got a blind dog who's quite nervous, and I've had a reactive dog in the past who's now sadly passed away. And there's been a number of things that have happened over the past few days that I was just like, oh, I've got to just, get on and have a bit of a chat about it. And so if you are someone with a reactive or anxious dog, then hopefully this will be of some comfort to you. Or if you're someone who's just got a really friendly dog, please listen, because it's really important that you hear this stuff as well. So I was out yesterday for a lovely walk, and I have my blind dog. I usually have her on a waist belt, but when we get to somewhere that's a bit open and there's no other dogs around, I let her have some freedom on a tracking line, because she wants to explore and everything, and as long as it's safe for her to do so. So I did that. And I could see a couple coming towards me with some dogs. So immediately put her on a waist belt, got her in the middle, because I always get her in the middle to keep her calm. And one of their dogs started bounding towards us. So I said, oh, excuse me, would you mind not letting your dog run up to us and approach us? And the man was like, well, it looks like you've bitten off more than you can chew. And I'm like, excuse me? Because at that moment in time, Inca was completely calm in the middle between my legs. All my other dogs, I've got 6 altogether. So the other 5 were all calm, just milling around, minding their own business. They'd all come in close when I'd called them, no issues whatsoever. And I was like, excuse me, all I've done is ask you if you would call your dog back, because my dog is nervous. She's blind. She doesn't have any eyes, and she doesn't really want to have a dog that she doesn't know bounding up to her. And he was, giving about that. And I just was like really put out, because it's not really fair. And there's a lot of reasons people might not want a dog running up to them. And it doesn't have to be because the dog's reactive. It doesn't have to be because the dog's nervous. When my dog Toffee was elderly, 14 years old, on wheels, I didn't want dogs running up to her, because an exuberant dog could actually knock her over and hurt her. So I would again ask people to recall their dogs. And again, you get people that will willingly do it. You get people that are like, oh, they won't do any harm. Or you get people that are just abusive to you. I've got a little Springer Spaniel, and another occasion I remember a few years ago. So Evie is a little scared of labs. Okay, and a lot of it's the time, and I don't mean to insult anyone who's a lab owner, who's a responsible lab owners, but there's a lot of lab owners that are just like, oh, my dog's really friendly. And so Evie got really quite scared of labs because they're always so boisterous, and she's only 11 kilograms. But I remember a time we were out, and there was some new fizz, 4 beautiful Newfoundlands, beautiful dogs. I love the breed. I had a friend who had one, absolutely stunning dogs. But Evie's 11 kilograms. And these dogs all started to surround her. And, I could see she was getting stressed. And I was like, oh, excuse me, would you mind calling your dog back? Because my dog's like, a bit stressed about this. And the owner went, oh, they're all right. They're really gentle. They're just playful puppies. I'm like, yeah, I know. But the size of 4, not just 1, 4 Newfoundlands and an 11 kilogram Springer Spaniel, it doesn't have to be done out of any malice or aggression. They can just hurt her, and again, it shouldn't be an issue if someone asks you to recall your dog, and again, if you see a dog with that's on a lead, ask the owner why. It might be that they're scavengers. It might be that they've got a poor recall, because I met several owners with their dogs on a lead, and I said, oh, excuse me, is your dog all right on a lead? Can my dogs come and say hello? Because Bambi and Maz loves to be social. My Springers are like, not so, but they're not unsocial, but they just do their own thing. And it's all about using the space and being polite to each other. And it's really frustrating, especially if you are someone who's got a nervous or reactive dog. There's an awful lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. And, I was on holiday last week, and a lady cycled past with this border collie that bounded up to us with this ferocious barking. And I said, excuse me, can you call your dog back? Because I'd got Inca in the middle. And she's said to me, oh, my dog won't do any harm. And it's like, well, you know what? Your dog might not do any physical harm, but mentally, that's actually going to be quite scary for a dog. Even a dog that's quite robust, like, my Springers are, that's actually quite intimidating, having a large dog bounding up to them, barking ferociously, and so it's not always about, if you are someone who's got a dog that does that as well, then really you should take steps to stop it. And it's the same with the smaller dogs that bound up. I mean, I'm a runner, I canny cross, often getting a lot of smaller dogs bounding up, running up, aggressively barking, and owners not doing anything. And that's actually a problem as well, because one day those small dogs are probably going to pick on a dog that's not under good control, or that is just like, you know, mate, you're just getting it, because it's in, you know, it's annoying, it's intimidating. You know, I've had dogs try to bite my bum because I've put myself between my dogs and this snapping little dog. So it's really all about, you know, taking responsibility for your pets and making sure that they don't interfere with other dogs and owners, so we can all enjoy this beautiful space. So, you know, when I go out for a walk, I will put my dog in a middle, and middle's a great thing to do if you are someone who's got a reactive or anxious dog. Middle's a great position because they feel quite secure there, and you can practice it. It's quite a good position. I have lots of treats there. I walk Inca on a waist belt, so that if something does, you know, she is there, I can hold her better, I can treat her and feed her, and also I've got control with my other hands to hold my other dogs if need be. You know, that's a good one. And another good thing to do is to turn your stress cues into calming cues. And so this is really good, especially because sometimes it's all very well, you go out with all the best of intentions and you're going to be really calm and it's all going to be fine. But then sometimes something happens and, you know, you can get a bit irate. And so I try to do different things that will make my stress cues turn into calming things. So one of those things is like holding the lead really tight. It's not so much matter with Inca because she's on a waist belt, but, you know, if you practice this before anything happens, when everything's just normal, get the lead really tight. As the dog turns to look at you, you treat them and reward them. They start to associate a tight lead with actually something good happening. A little funny thing that happens is because I canny cross, the amount of times I've gone over on my ankle and I go, oh shit. I now have oh shit on the cue. So I actually only have to say oh shit, and the dogs turn around and look at me to see what's wrong and to check I'm okay. So it's actually quite a good thing when I'm running sometimes that my little stress cue has turned into something calming when they will actually slow down and not necessarily stop, but they'll slow down and look back at me. But there is so much. And if you are someone who has, you know, a reactive dog, because it's, you know, what I think people need to realize as well, for those of you who just have these dogs that are very friendly, is it's very isolating having a reactive dog. And you can have a really beautiful walk and, you know, suddenly at the last minute, something spoils it. And I remember back in, I think it was last autumn, we'd had a lovely walk out, you know, and I had got all my dogs on the lead. And we were walking back to my van, and it was a really, really wide path. And someone let their dog off the lead, and it bounded up. And I said, "Excuse me, would you mind calling, you know, your dog back, please? Because my dog's, you know, nervous." And she was like, "Well, that's your problem." And I said, "Well, I've got all my dogs on the lead, and I'm just asking you, please, because I've got a blind dog here who's nervous, and I don't want there to be any issues because I've got all my dogs on lead." And she just started giving me a load of grief because it should be my dog should be able to go off the lead. I said, "I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just asking you to keep your dog away from mine." You know, and for those of you who've got reactive dogs, I'm sure there's quite a few times you've gone back to your car and cried, because I know certainly that's my situation. I've been out for some lovely walks or not so lovely walks and just got into my car and just sobbed. And it's taken me about 10-15 minutes before I can even drive home. And one of the things I always take when I'm out is one of the oils called Adaptive. And I actually, I think I did it on my Healthful Doctor page once, but this is a great oil. It's actually called the Calming Blend. It's a really great oil for calming. So I will use this a lot when I'm out on walks. I have it in a roller bottle that I can just put on. And there was one particular day I was out for a walk and things got quite stressful for me because it's busy. There was lots of dogs around. And so I actually had my Fitbit on. And I used the oil again midway through the walk, and you can actually see on my Fitbit my heart rate is 129 beats a minute. And after I inhale the oil, it immediately starts to decrease. So that's how powerful the oils are, you know. So really, really good. If you want to learn more about that, I'm doing a live. I'm doing an event on Thursday at 7 o'clock on my Healthful Doctor page, and you can access it. There's an early bird discount as well. It's it's only usually $4.99, but it's even cheaper than that. And that's on Thursday. So pop over to my page and have a look at that. But, you know, that's really good. And I use a lot of oils for Inca as well. So I will have, she likes Adaptive as well, but I'll have other oils that, again, when we're in the middle, if things are getting a bit, I'll often put oils on my wrist so that she can smell them, and it helps keep her calm because she hasn't got any eyes. You know, that's why she's nervous, because she doesn't know what's going on. And unfortunately, she's a bit nervous about men as well, because we got threatened by some crazy man who lives locally. He threatens loads of dog walkers. So it's nothing personal, but it just didn't help with the situation. So, you know, I've already got my poor little dog who's blind. And then you get this crazy dude who's just like really threatening and things like that. But it is really isolating. And so, you know, what I would appeal to people who have really friendly dogs is please just, you know, give people some space. You know, it's because there was a great post. The other thing that prompted me to do this as well was there was a post yesterday on a rescue page. And it was a lovely little graphic about, you know, please, if someone asks you to call your dog back, please just do it. And a couple of women, oh my goodness. So one woman commented and said, well, why can't people with reactive dogs just walk elsewhere? I want to be able to walk, let my dogs off the lead. And, you know, and she took the comment down. Now, I would prefer to walk when I don't see anyone, to be honest, but it's not always possible because of my working shifts. I hire a secure field twice a week, but I also want to walk and enjoy our beautiful countryside and go to places. And I keep my dogs under control. So my dogs aren't chasing geese or ducks or anything like that. They're not running up to children. They're not running up to cyclists or runners or any of these other things that you should recall your dogs to stop them bothering. So I want to enjoy this space. And so, you know, if you can't recall your dog, then you shouldn't have your dog off the lead. Because as a runner as well, I know how annoying it is to have a dog try to snap at your bottom. Again, don't let your dogs interfere with runners, cyclists, children. Recall your dog. Oh, hi, Holly. That's my hot cat. Don't let your dogs interfere with cyclists, children. You know, I see as well an awful lot of elderly people in A&E who have been knocked over by exuberant dogs when they're out walking, and sometimes they get fractured hips. And the dogs aren't even their own. They're just a stranger's dog who's bounded up to them, knocked them flat, and they've now ended up in A&E. That's just not on, you know. So please, 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 just, you know, if you can't recall your dog, then do work at that, but have them on a long line, have them under control. And another comment that someone said on this group, and this is another one, because this is a lot of, I think people with reactive and anxious dogs, we do get a lot of stick from people. And a lot of it is just, unfortunately, you know, poor education and understanding of what's absolutely going on. So this other comment that someone made was that, oh, the owners of reactive and anxious dogs are just incompetent owners, and they're the reason their dogs are crazy. Okay, so a lot of dogs that are reactive have come from maybe poor circumstances before they came into that existing home. In the case of Inca, she was in a lovely foster, but she's got no eyes. My previous dog that was reactive had an incident happen to her. I did unfortunately make it worse by sort of mollycoddling her, which reinforced her reactivity. But, you know, dogs can become reactive because of, say, that dog that runs at them, growling and barking. It freaks them out. So they then become reactive to stop that happening in future. There's so many different reasons a dog can be reactive, you know, and often it's got nothing to do with the owner that's walking them. It's happened before they got to the owner, the trauma of whatever's caused the problem. So do have a little bit of understanding and a little bit of appreciation for why, you know, people, you know, do have reactive dogs. And thank goodness people do take on reactive dogs, because, you know, some, you know, and they'd just be languishing or being put to sleep. And some of these dogs are absolutely, they're all wonderful. You know, I mean, I've been blessed with some amazing dogs, and so many dogs, you know, that have issues that can't be around other dogs are so loving to humans. And, you know, so, but they just need extra understanding. And, you know, please just keep your dogs. If someone asks you to pull your dog back, don't argue, just be polite and do it. And it's the same if you see your dog, you know, children, you know, let's all use this beautiful space. If you'd like to know more about using essential oils with your dogs, there's I have got a class, I think you can still access it, called It's Reactive, using essential oils for reactive and anxious dogs. I will be running another one, but you can also just pop to my website. I've got a video there you can watch. I'll drop me a message. And if you can't access the reactive and anxious dogs video that's on here, this page, do let me know, because I am going to do another date for it because it's very popular. I just haven't got the date up and running yet. But just drop me a message. But you know what? For those of you who've got reactive anxious dogs, you're not alone. There's some really great groups around. Do check out like Reactive Dogs UK, but also, you know, do work with a behaviourist, you know, or a trainer from the Institute of Modern Dog Trainers, or sort of a clinical behaviorist, so you get the really good understanding of how to help your dogs, because it is really, it really is important, and it will help you massively. But you know what, there is so many people that have reactive dogs that do understand, that do care. So don't feel that you're alone, don't feel that you're isolated, because it is really frustrating, and nobody should be going for a dog walk and spending 10 minutes after the walk crying in their car because of the abuse that they've got from someone. So stay safe, stay well, enjoy the precious and beautiful, glorious weather. Make sure your dogs are hydrated. Don't over exercise them too much in this weather. And, stay safe and enjoy your beautiful dogs. Take care, everyone. Bye.